It's wireless. It's classy. It sounds good.
Some people say that if it's too good to be true, it probably is, and I like to challenge that. That's why we got this $30 keyboard, and we're gonna pit it up against a $100 Logitech keyboard. Is that fair? Probably not. We're gonna do it anyway. I really want to jump into the product review, but before we do, there's something I have to show you. This is by far the best branding I've seen on AliExpress. So good that I thought that were they spending so much money on this to cut corners elsewhere in the product? And I was right, they couldn't afford an English translator. Wheels watching freedom, putting more imagination on desktop, on the light wheat field. The package came to us in good shape. It looks professional, and honestly, the package is the best I've gotten from AliExpress so far. They decided to go for a double box, which I fully support because it lets them use less non-biodegradable materials like packing foam. Generally speaking, if we compare it to a generic box that you would get from a $100 product, I'd say it's pretty damn similar, especially the outside part. Inside the box, you get a wire for charging, a keycap puller. It's the nice wire kind, which I like, and some extra key switches. And obviously what we paid the big bucks for, the keyboard. Nothing stood out to me like a cut corner. I mean, even the keyboard came with this protective top to stop the keys from falling out. Overall, they made me think that I was paying more than I actually was because everything in here was really good. It made me almost feel like there had to be somewhere that they were cutting corners in the product itself. I mean, if I did find something to complain about, it would actually be the cable. This thing isn't braided, it's nothing special, but you know that if I'm nitpicking at the cable, there's really nothing to complain about. Overall, 8.5 out of 10. We went for Aigo's yellow switches. They're linear with a short travel time, meaning that you don't have to press very far for them to bottom out, and also there's no bump in between the switch, making it feel smooth the whole way through. The reason why is because we wanted to see how they would fare at making their own. Alternatively, you could pick the blue switches, which we would not recommend, and we'll show you why shortly. The keyboard's fully made out of plastic. There's no other material on the outside, like metal or anything like that, but it is super sturdy and well built, so I wouldn't say that it really tarnishes the durability of the keyboard. But if I'm honest, I am partial to metal keyboards, like the Logitech G Pro. There is a metal plate on this thing, right? Oh, there isn't. 100 quid and there's a metal plate. If we compare it to something like the G Pro, they both feel pretty good in durability. This one doesn't flex, nor does this one. And I think, again, if I hadn't had one of those rage moments against his teammates, this thing would probably survive. Let's test that. The connector on the keyboard is a USB-C, and it's not recessed, so you can really use any cable that you'd want to. The keycaps feel like good quality. They do claim to be double shot injections, but the legends themselves are printed on there, so you can expect them to sort of wear out with time. Overall, I think that they do sound really consistent and nice. I just wish that they really went for something a bit more durable for the legends, because over time this will fade. The key switches come pre-lubed, which is quite rare for a keyboard at this price point. And the keys as well hardly wobble at all. So overall, the build quality gets like an 8 out of 10. The keyboard has a unique 100% design, meaning that it has all the keys that you would typically expect, whilst only taking up the same amount of desk space as an 80% keyboard like this Logitech G Pro. Overall, everything is roughly where you'd expect it, aside from the shortened shift key and the delete is in the top right as opposed to above the backspace key. The shape to me is honestly a solid 8 out of 10. How does the keyboard sound? The keyboard sounds great aside from the spacebar. I mean, when you put it all together, I think it still sounds fine. And also, this is actually something that you can change later on by just lubing up the springs on the sides. Not everybody looking at a keyboard at this price point will care about the technical features. Well, too bad, it's time for nerd talk. Does it have N-key rollover? According to Aigo, yes. According to us, kinda. Like, it has 27 key rollover, which arguably you don't really need more, so it might as well be N-key rollover, yet this is technically false advertising. There was no perceived latency, even on the 2.4 wireless dongle, which, I mean, is quite a high standard. I'm very comfortable even playing games like Valorant or CSGO on this thing wireless. So, what does somebody else think about this keyboard? Let's go and see. Hey dude, I found your keyboard.
My G Pro.
No, here you go, use this instead, here. Iden, what do you think of the Aigo?
The typewriter, it's good. I like the noise it makes. The yellow switches are absolutely fantastic. I'll be honest with you, there's something about the keys when you're typing, if you want to use this for work, there's something about the placement. I often found myself mistyping. It might be the shape of them where I click and it would kind of hit multiple keys at once. But where everything is, it's good. I mean, it feels great. The spacebar, I quite like it. It's, like I said, the typewriter style, so yeah.
Alright, cool.
Can I please have my Logitech back?
No. So after everything, I can soundly recommend this keyboard to virtually anyone. If you want to play games, it's good at that because of the low latency. If you want to type essays, it's great too because it has all the keys. And if you're an established gentleman like myself, you'll probably like the looks too. So if you do want to get the keyboard and support the channel, the link will be in the description. If you'd like a near perfect pairing for this keyboard, we've reviewed a mouse which I think is absolutely fantastic for $30, and it should be showing up on your screen right now.